and welcome to another episode of Leadership Matters with Superintendent Micheal Johnson. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed, liked, sent really great messages to my own personal social media accounts. This started with just an idea, and then I got an all-star crew and put them together to help me put together this podcast. And actually, I have to give credit where credit is due. Part of the vision of my podcast came from this young brother that we're going to talk to today, who had me on his podcast. And I was like, man, I could just run my mouth and people may want to hear it. And so that's where the life of my podcast and desire to interview. I've always liked, if you know, I like speaking engagements, but I really like podcasts because you can just be your authentic self and learn. And that's what I wanted this podcast to be, is just nothing, too far out, but just to learn about different leaders and their styles of leadership and the impact that their leadership has had on communities and on each other and on students. And so today I'm so super excited to be sitting with really a true definition of Renaissance man. I knew him first as a coach, and then we began talking more about the trials and tribulations and the success and glories of our people, African Americans, and our plight. And then we learned we both are readers. And so, and he just inspired me just by being a Renaissance man to be better. So, with no further ado, if you don't know him, I call him Coach, but curator, coach, author, who I just finished reading. Well, I'm still kind of reading through one of his books. So, author, curator, designer, graphic designer.
A lot of stuff in there.
I'm just trying to. He does it all. He even laid out the wall in my office with my photos. Cedric Jones. When I say coach, is no diss. That's just love and respect for who and how I know this young man. But welcome, Cedric Jones, to Leadership Matters.
Thank you for having me. Before we get started, though, I do think that congratulations are in order for you.
Thank you,
school's accreditation with merit and the school grader B. Yeah. I was here when you got here, so I understand what the struggle was like and how you had to build that. So, really, congratulations. It's good just to be on camera, just talking to another brother that's trying to do some things for his people.
It's just brothers trying to be brothers. Yeah. And if also, I didn't say producer, and I guess director. My team has multiple roles, but he is one of the other that's behind the scene of helping direct, produce, editor of Leadership Matters. So we were sitting and getting ready. I was like, Coach, I'd love to sit down and talk with you. I know you just finished a big exhibit in Havana. Yeah. That hopefully we'll be able to shoot at least one episode of Leadership Matters out there. So he's doing it all. Also, he carries the honor of valedictorian, class of 19. He's older.
88.
88 from 89, so he's older. So grandpa, but class of 1988 from FAMU High / Lucy Moulton / FAMU DRS. In other words, us. So I'm just excited to sit down and talk to you a little bit. Who is Cedric, and what makes Cedric tick?
I sat through interview last week, and Sika was here, a classmate of mine from FAMU High.
Right.
And she went through a lot of things that kind of described who she was as a person, as a child. I would think I follow along that same line of thought. It's just my mom, of course.
Met her, beautiful.
And my family. My family is, like a bedrock, and they push all of this stuff into you. When you're young, you don't see it as being you're just a teenager. You don't, why are you telling me to do this? Why are you telling me to strive? Why are you telling me to achieve? Why are you telling me to go out and do some stuff? And then when you get older, you kind of see the world fade away as you progress, and then you see why. They already saw potential, and what they did was try to nurture it in their own way. Of course, it's not going to always be welcome because it's kind of adversarial when you're a teenager.
Right.
But that is my base. And then, personally, I like to look at myself as not Renaissance, but more of curious. Like I want to learn as much as I can, as fast as I can, before I leave this earth.
Yeah, well, we hope that's a long time for now. And, that's really dope in regards to just curious. And also, I didn't add, he could also sit in for the late, great James Earl Jones with that that deep baritone as well. But hearing all that, I'm just curious, and I know this could be one of those What kind of kid was Cedric Jones?
For as curious as I am now, I probably was one of those kids that got into everything when I was. I'm off doing something, my mom is slapping my hand. I'm going somewhere else, my older sister is slapping my hand. You know, I got an older brother, I'm pulling him in all kind of directions. Funny story about that, my sister was, I don't know if, I know you're familiar with the campus, but the old campus used to be right across the street from the Department of Education.
Right, yeah, right.
My sister's supposed to be watching me, and because I'm so bad and so curious. I run across the street. I snatch my hand out of hers and run across the street, almost get hit by a car. And those kind of situations happen a lot with me. Not car type danger, but it could be stove danger. It could be hot engine danger. Just any kind of danger. Because I was really curious and was always in this mode of, I can do it, I don't need help, I can do it. That kind of thing can kind of be a double-edged sword, right? Because it makes you want to learn and do some things, but it also kind of alienates the people around you. So for a long time, I had to learn how to ask for a little help, get a little bit more back in return.
Like, Cedric, if you don't get your bad ass over here and stop all that curiosity.
Bad. It was bad, but I also ended up making me a better person for people coming behind me because I could tell them, hey, I've been through that. I know what that's like.
Right.
You need a little help. Can't do it all by yourself. Sometimes older generation is telling you something. It's real life advice that you need to be taking.
Coach, it's called some of the best lessons I've learned is from knots on my head.
Oh, my gosh.
And it sounds like that was it. But in that, every time I think about it, I add something else. Clothing designer. Yeah. I know that's your brand and the hat. Yeah. I'm sitting here with straight jacking the culture misappropriation of.
Hey, don't take that the wrong way.
I'll leave it there. But it's phenomenal, and it's real. And the thing I like about this book, and I do want to come back to as I divert off, is we are both products of the 80s hip-hop movement. It is hip-hop movement. So those of us that were versed in it wasn't your rapping. KRS-One said it best, rap is something you do. Right. Hip-hop is something you live.
Consciousness,
I lived it, and it developed me even in some of now. As a 55-year-old man, I think about things I was listening to then that really played an integral role in me now. So from the books to the clothing, curator, author, all of those, when did you, and you got to own this, realize you were so talented as a kid?
You want to know real?
I want to keep it real, man.
Family High's kindergarten used to be on the backside of the where Lucy Moten is. Yeah. So that bottom part of the building in the back used to be where kindergarten classes were. I was about to get kicked out of school.
Kindergarten?
Yeah, because the teachers thought that something was wrong.
Okay.
Teachers thought something was wrong with me because I always stayed separately. And we had one teacher in particular, I won't say her by name because she's a really, really nice lady, and she didn't know. It's the system was already geared to try to push kids, especially little brothers, out of it. So she kind of brought my mom in, and my mom wanted to know, why do you think my kid needs to go to whatever? He excelled in preschool and these kind of things. So what's the problem? Well, he doesn't interact with anything like that. So my mom came to me and she asked me, hey, what's going on? You feeling okay? Yeah, I'm good. I'm finished with the work. I'm bored. That was the day she took me out of kindergarten for that day, and we went riding around. And she asked me a lot of questions along the way. I can remember this sitting in the seat. Hey, what do you think about this place? What do you think about this? Just running by all kind of adult type stuff. And I started telling her. In my head, I'm thinking that's just normal conversation. But at that point, I realized, man, I got a lot of stuff going on up in here. I didn't know that's what it was, but I got a lot of stuff going on up in here, and I need to do something about it. So from that point on, she would ask me about things, and I'd be like, hey, I want to know more about that. She asked me about some more stuff. I want to know more about that. If it's engineering based, hey, how did my dad was an electrician by trade. Hey, how did Daddy fix this radio? How did my uncle do this stuff with this car? I was always interested in writing, so
From
I started.
Early on.
Man, I can.
That's all right.
It was a lot of stimulus. You have to kind of you have to get yourself in a point where they don't label you as ADHD as well, right? Because you remember when we were growing up, they started labeling. And kids our age coming through the system, it was easy for them to label you ADHD, and then now you're in a whole different track of education.
Coach, they thought it was something wrong with me because I was left-handed.
See? Just simple stuff like that.
I remember them I really do.
Yeah.
And it shows you profound, and I just wonder about so many of our black brothers who were marginalized, or they wanted to not self-correct, but correct. And I remember just the awkwardness and almost in tears because they
were forcing you to write.
It didn't feel right to me, and I would take it and put it here.
Yeah.
And I never was a left-hand guy like this, but it was just a simple fact that I wasn't supposed to be left-handed, and it can be, I remember, and I think it was either Malcolm X or Minister Farrakhan, one of the two, talked about the killing fields. And little things like that could have broken your genius. But your mother had the fortitude to say, let me take this curious child and keep peaking it. So
she kept me busy after that point. Like it was, hey, I got to give him as much as he can handle.
Okay.
And that's how it was.
So you were kindergarten, so you start matriculating through FAMU High. And as you're matriculating through FAMU High, plethora of teachers.
Yeah.
Some, let's just be real. I mean, you have some great experiences. Yeah. You have some, it was okay. And then you have some like, oh, that was horrible. What type of experiences that you have with teachers that continue to promote Cedric, the curiosity young cat?
So now I'm gonna surprise you.
Okay.
I don't think there's a kid from FAMU High during that run of time that will tell you that they had teachers that they didn't learn anything from. Okay. Everybody has teachers that they might not like.
Right.
That doesn't mean the teacher's not a good teacher, though. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I had my run-ins with teachers, of course, because I'm a knucklehead. I got stuff up in my head. I'm, supposedly quote-unquote smart, however they label you.
Right.
And you learn a lot of things, and then you challenge authority, you challenge the establishment, whatever it is.
Right.
But the teachers at FAMU High, I can remember everybody. Mm-hmm. That's hard to do when you go to a high school. Now I know our school is small. It was small then, but still, it's a lot bigger. But it's a lot bigger than it was.
Right.
Just to be able to remember all of your teachers, even from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, that's a feat in itself. And there was not a teacher that I had, no matter if I liked them or disliked them, that I didn't learn something from. You get what I'm saying? So the experience was different from I want to say grouped off different age levels. Like when I got to be middle school, we didn't have the middle school separated the way it is now. 7th and 8th grade were kind of like an adventure because you had teachers that you thought you were going to have in high school, but they would move them around a little bit, and then maybe some of the teachers you didn't have, that you did have, you ended up not having in high school. But by the time I got in high school, every teacher there, the whole goal was, we're going to get you out of here, and we're going to make you productive. You don't have to go to 4-year. You don't even have to go 2-year. You can go military. You can start your own business. All of that stuff was pushed upon us and impressed upon us at the high school. So I would say, even though my particular experience may have been that of trying to push against establishment, it was still a good experience. It was something that I wouldn't trade because it has helped me in life. It definitely helped me when I got up on the hill.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that again. This is Leadership Matters, and with my I can't call him a guest because he works with the show. He makes me better, and so I won't say guest. I'm gonna say it. We just having a sit down talk. So super excited to have him. I want to move forward because I want to know valedictorian.
Yeah.
Graduating. He's older than I am.
That was interesting times.
Valedictorian?
Yeah. That was one of those experiences.
Do we want to footnote?
No, because there's another classmate involved that I care for a lot who was involved in that whole race for that. And there's no need to drag that through. It was an experience though.
Y'all still friends?
Oh yeah. We're definitely friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did y'all fight behind?
No.
Okay.
We were unwitting participants in something that was messy. And it should have never gotten to that point.
So it's one of those things, is a pet peeve sometimes of mine, is that when adults should not let it be messy before students.
Yeah.
Got you. I dig it. That's a pet peeve for mine. I mean, I say this and people a lot of times look at me like crazy. Children don't always, or students, and this is even for parenting, they don't need to always know everything.
Right.
They just got to know said one vowel. And
That's it.
But we start pulling the kids into it because, again, it's about, in leadership, making sure it's always in the best light to help somebody. Yeah. So I dig it. We won't go any further, but I did pull it out.
I got you.
So you decided valedictorian.
Yeah.
You back then you probably had the high top fade.
No, well, I had some hair, but I don't know how high it was.
It's so funny. I was so militant. I wouldn't do anything. My siblings tell my wife all the time. When I was younger, and I was public enemy. Black boots, all black.
I get you. I understand the brother minister thing. Yeah, I understand that whole thing. Yeah,
But it's a dope period of my life that I can't run from. It's funny because they told my wife we couldn't even get him to eat white bread. Like, well, I didn't like bread. It didn't have to be white.
That's good.
But you have all of this success so young, and then athlete.
Yeah, we got to that, huh?
Lord, I don't know how long, just on all you've done because, but it's great because I think students, young folks need to know you don't have to be monolithic.
Yeah.
You can do so many different things. And so you're an athlete at FAMU High and then went up on the hill as an athlete. From FAMU High, your home is Monticello.
Yeah.
Am I saying it right? Monticello? Because I know it's Havana or Havana.
Well, I say Havana. I get caught saying both of those, but that's over in Gaston County. So the counties are split. So it's Jefferson this way. Yeah. And then you got Leon, and then you got a little north and west is Quincy. Yeah.
You're original Arkansas, and I slip up, but then So you have Havana,
Yeah.
but you're from Monticello.
Yeah.
And so kid from Monticello goes to FAMU High, has incredible academic
Yeah.
career, incredible athletic career. You decided to stay in Tallahassee and head up on the hill.
Yeah.
Why FAMU?
Real reason, my mom beat me into it. So
Beat you into it.
okay, so it was three things going on at once. I had a really promising career as a middle linebacker. Was highly recruited by quite a few what we would consider to be Power 4, Power 5 schools, and then what we would consider to be the top tier of the FCS. But I was also young, and since I graduated at a young age, my mom did not want me to leave town. So I took all of my visits. Now I had a ball.
Oh, of course you did.
So I went to Nebraska. I went to Miami. I went up to Georgia Tech.
Wait, you had a ball in Nebraska?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just keep going.
Okay, you know the stories about the athletes in Nebraska. I had a ball on that trip. So you think about all of these places they wanted to get me, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna get out of here, academic or athletic. I'm getting out of Tallahassee because I was dead set against being one of the locals that's gonna end up staying in Tallahassee, which is funny because we're gonna get back to that too.
Right.
So, President Humphreys, right after I got named a valedictorian and did my speech for graduation, he approaches me the night after because we had like a big party. I was friends with his son because his son was my classmate.
Did his son go to FAMU High or?
Son went to FAMU High, but he ended up going to Morehouse.
Okay.
He calls me, he says, "What are you thinking about going to school?" So I told him I'm probably going to be on the West Coast if I don't get this gig in Nebraska.
Right.
And he came up and offered me a scholarship on the spot. They had just started a program called the Like It's Better
President Humphreys did.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the class before me was Dr. Black. I don't know if you know, he's working on campus. And then there was a class before him was one of the Lawrence sisters. Oh, maybe it's the same class. But either way, they both got that scholarship.
Okay.
And he said, I'm going to put you on this, and we're going to show that brain across the country.
Right.
And I went and told my mom. I still didn't want to go.
You did not want to go?
Because I wanted to play ball. And I didn't want to play ball for fam. Because back in the day, it is what it is, what it is.
Right.
You want to go somewhere where you can try to get a chance to play some pro ball. We're going to get back.
You should have went to UAPB.
We're going to get back to all of that playing. All of that stuff.
UAPB, but go ahead.
All of that stuff I thought about. All that stuff I thought about Black College at the time. We're going to get back to it because it's totally different thoughts now. But long story short, he offered me a scholarship. My mom saw the dollar figure and she was like, "You going to fam? I'm not signing any kind of paperwork to go because I wasn't old enough to do it anyway.
Right.
I'm not signing any paperwork for you to go to any PWI. That's not happening.
Wow.
So you can go to a black school, but the only black school you can go to is FAMU. Because my family,
your mom.
Yeah, my
so
family.
Your mom's like a sister soldier.
Yeah, my family is FAMU. So it was going to happen. Right. And I wasn't going to play football. So when I got registered, went on my internship. It was one of those things where your internship starts before school starts. So I was already working in my field. I was working in artificial intelligence. We'll get back to that at some point, I guess.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I start school, well, maybe a month before I start school, family friend is coaching on the football team. Coach Johnny Williams, rest in peace, calls me. I don't know how he got my number. I don't know. Maybe my mom gave it to him or something. And I get on the phone with him, and he says, "Hey, since you're not in Nebraska, we could use your help." And I was like, "I'm not playing football with family. I told you I'm not doing that. I'm just going to school." He bothered me for like 3 more weeks. I kid you not. I flew back. Was at the field house with George Thompson, who was another rest in peace, who was the equipment manager at the time. And he got me. He says, "Hey, look, Coach Williams is wanting you to play. I got your shoulder pads and stuff right now. What you gonna do?" I was like, what I'm gonna do?
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, let me just watch a practice. I watch a practice, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Now these are my honest thoughts. All right, so I don't want people to think. When I was looking at the practice, I was like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this. But then I saw my buddies. Some from Faneuil High. It was a couple from South Florida that I met on some trips.
Okay.
I was like, well, maybe I could do this. And that's how I got started playing. And
wow.
I went from maybe a week and a half in the pit. I know you've heard Coach Gray talk about the pit. I went from like 2 weeks in the pit, and then I was on the traveling team after the first game. So I didn't go on the first game, but after that, I was on the traveling team, and then it just took off from there. And then that legend grew into something else because I was, local made good type story.
I do want to come back because
Yeah.
if anything I study in really is leadership.
Yeah.
I never saw myself as a leader. I never saw myself in many roles. You have people like my wife, really, who sees more in me still to this day than I sometimes many times see in myself. And then mentors, I have great mentors, Terrence Johnson, and I got Richard Smith, and I work, I got folks like, I'm here like yourself, Gary Sims. I mean, just really great teachers, Brother Amir Abdul Khalik, and my best male, and I'm naming males, is my dad by far, Ezekiel Johnson. And so I have all of those, but one person that I'm curious about that just because of what you said, and I'm going to come back to it, was President Fred Hampton.
Humphreys.
Yeah. Fred Hampton was.
Yeah.
I'm going. Humphreys, excuse me. And I read that and heard that, but I'm hearing it like it's stamped that he would meet students and see potentials and say, "You got a scholarship.
Yeah.
Come to FAMU." That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then also it was impressive. He had his children.
Yeah.
At FAMU.
Well, they were at Faneuil High.
Right, that's what I mean, at FAMU High. Not, the college, but to do that is, I'm not tooting, but, that's a hard thing to think about. I mean, I bought my own personal children to FAMU DRS, or FAMU High, which was one of the best decisions my wife and I made.
My head coach, both of his kids were at Faneuil High, too.
Yeah, and I think that's something... as people see what we're doing, I hope returns back to it. So to hear that about the president at that time, and every time I look at that statue, I'm like, man, if I could have just got.
He was seriously. We had our differences over time, and that's all of that's been documented. And there's a few people that we still don't speak today because of our relationship. But the one thing I will give
you and President Humphreys,
the one thing I will give President Humphreys credit for was that he was aggressively trying to get black males, black females into roles at all levels, doing their part. If that was a student, I'm gonna get the best students. If it's a faculty member, I'm gonna get the best faculty member. And if you're not good, I'm gonna get you to training. He was really aggressive in those days about doing all of that and recruitment, and you've seen some of the stuff he's done in the past of how he built the brand.
He built the
brand. Those, if nothing else, he could have done. He would, in this day and time, he could have been doing all the the masterclass stuff you see on YouTube.
Absolutely.
He could have done a masterclass just on how do I brand education in a way where it's cool and it's sexy, but it's also productive, where I can get the most out of what I'm bringing in, and then putting those kids and putting those teachers out into the world.
So again, I always love to study leadership and leaders, and in his time here on Earth, I would have loved to have had the opportunity to have met him, not based on that, but just when I hear of a leader and how he redefined the brand and actually help FAMU's enrollment. That what I've told, like it was like, stop, it's getting too big.
Yeah, he was ahead. He was ahead of his time.
Yeah,
in terms of expanding that.
Yeah, and
that
so
idea.
I just like to hear like those. That's why I do this podcast.
Yeah.
I may sit and go, well, I would never do that, or I wish I would have, but it's just a learning piece for me.
Right.
So would have really, loved to have had time in his time, on campus when he was here, to have had just a conversation. So you're there at FAMU, and then we look at it, and we're all in here HBCU graduates. Did attending an HBCU influence, here we go, how you see yourself professionally today?
Absolutely. Okay, so now this is something I could talk about all day. I already had pretty good self-esteem before I even got to HBCU. But because of what HBCUs have to go through, because even though Humphreys had the campus humming and enrollment is up, it was up at its highest. Sika told you about that, and Sika was there in the heyday.
Right.
Enrollment was up. The numbers were through the roof. All the national merit scholars were there. It was like a mecca of intellectual capacity, right? But even that, you still have your financial struggles. You still got to deal with administrative stuff. And I know the kids now, they probably wouldn't even recognize FAMU but you have to go through that.
Absolutely.
So just going through regular stuff like waiting in lines and understanding that you're not going to be first all the time, and understanding that you might not have the financial capacity to do certain things, even if you are on scholarship, things like that. And other things that might come up during the administrative tenure of a president. Those kind of things, kind of like, it's not a buffer, but it's almost like a Teflon type of a security blanket. You go out, nothing sticks to you. You go out to these you get into these big corporate kind of environments, and you might be the only person sitting in a room, but doggone it, I'm from FAMU. Right. And y'all gonna hear me today, or y'all gonna see me today, or y'all gonna recognize the talent today. Same with writing, the same with me doing my branding, the same with me doing the advocacy for Black history. When you go to a HBCU, it literally supercharges everything about you. I don't know if other students, other grads get that. But it's like a supercharge, like you feel like you're superhuman when you go out to the world. Now, you understand, you do understand that you can't be and do everything, but you do have a different confidence.
And you can sit in that room, and I don't, it's not to name drop, but I remember how I felt the first day I walked into a classroom at Harvard, and I was like, ugh. And within 10 minutes of open discussion, I leaned back in my chair, so let's roll.
You had that Obama look on.
Oh, I said, let's roll.
Yeah.
And it's almost like when you say superpower, it's almost like you have, the hip hop pimp walk.
Yeah, look.
But also, it's like you can hit that other switch. And for us, UAP, we call it Dear Mother. It's like you have a Dear Mother switch, and you say, okay, come on, world. And it gives you, for me, resiliency.
Yeah.
It taught me that. It taught me that, and I read this quote, if I'm not at the head of the table and I'm sitting at the side, in my mind, I'm at the head of the table still.
Yeah.
So it's good hearing that. What about like in when you look at it and from the athletic component, did you see that time that you played ball at FAMU also works in some of your professional careers?
Yeah. So remember, now we're going back to sports. Remember, I told you we'll get back to, you'd be surprised when we was talking about high school.
Right.
So people would be surprised to know that the coaching staff that I played under at FAMU was probably some of the best coaches I've ever
Right.
played for as well.
Who was the head coach here?
That was Coach Ken Riley.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Riley State.
And so I say all of these things because everything became at a revelation for me, because before I told you that I was very curious.
Right.
And the more I found out and the more I knew, the more I thought I had the answers.
Sure.
But then when you get in front of people who really have the answers, you realize you don't really have many other answers at all.
Right.
You need to listen. But the reason why I bring up the coaching staff is because that was the first coaching staff that I had been around, of course, because I'm playing college ball, and a set of coaches that welcome the feedback. They might not always like the feedback, but they welcomed it and would also, at some point, say, you know what, you might have been right, young man, or you might be on to something, or I'm going to note that in my playbook, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. As much of an adversary as I was to authority in my lifetime, because I have been, these coaches used to allow me to go into the field house and watch film after hours. I had a key. I could go do whatever I wanted to in there to enrich myself as a football player.
Wow.
And while I was in there, I enriched myself as a football player. I watched film. I looked at playbooks. I was like a serious sponge student.
Thirst
my gosh.
to learn.
Oh my gosh. And I would come back the next weeks and I'm arguing with coaches and stuff. People have been doing stuff for 20 years, but I know more than you now because I'm studying.
Right.
And it wasn't I know more than you. It's more of, hey man, I learned this stuff. I need to know more. Do you have some more?
You was showing yourself approved. You studied.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So it was so that experience of that, because I wasn't always the best teammate either because of that. But that experience created a base layer for me to become a good leader.
Okay. So, fast forward just a little bit because I'm trying to
I got you. I'm talking too much.
This is great. This is great. Because I want our students, especially, they should be so proud of you, but our students, with some of the things I really I'm going to do with this podcast with our students, to know this is a guy that sat in the seats that they sat in, that, young folks, I'm sounding like an old man now, but they think everything they're doing is something new.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about AI from way back, and hopefully we can walk into that in just a second, but I'm gonna jump up a little bit.
Okay.
At some point, you have all these creative juices flowing, and it became more than just something you enjoyed. It became a career for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to us about those transition points of, okay, I'm creative. Now let me utilize some of this creativity professionally.
So the old adage is left brain, right brain, but people don't know you got four sections of your brain.
Okay.
All right. I might be using all four of them at some point. Right?
At the same time.
Yeah. So the creative side was always there, but I was always forced to go into something analytical. I wanted to be an art major in school, and my mom was like, "Can't make money with art. You got to choose something else." My brother was in physics. My oldest brother was in physics. My youngest brother was the second oldest brother was electrical engineering. And this was pre-FAMU engineering school. So
you guys got some skill.
These dudes I had to keep up with competitive family too, so I had to keep up. I was always into artificial intelligence because they used to get these little magazines. My mom was a librarian, so she started bringing me these magazines right around the same time. She brought this book that I still have called Finite and Infinite Games by James Carse. Mm-hmm. And in it, he went over game theory. There's a lot of game theory stuff, but mostly he was talking about how finite games are kind of like theatrical and infinite games are kind of like dramatic. Okay. And which kind of game in life you want to be. He was a religious philosopher, but
Okay.
The book wasn't a religious book. But anyway, along that time, she introduced me to this journal called the Artificial Intelligence Journal.
And what year was this?
This was 1985 with the journal.
And the AI was
86 and 87 was the time of that book.
Okay.
By the time I graduated, that's what I went on my scholarship, my Life is Better scholarship.
Okay.
So I've been dealing with that for a long time. All of that stuff led to me getting into artificial intelligence. Then when I graduated, because I was a computer science major, I went and started working with my brother early, and we did some software development. It was so. We made some money, we lost some money, but working with family is hard. So we kind of agreed to separate, and then I started working corporate. So I've been in corporate, been in state, I've been local, and it's all been either databases or applications, websites, branding, marketing. It spanned the gamut. When I decided to go and work for myself as a sole thing, that's when I put all of those things together. So the creative came in with the rest of the branding and marketing, and then all the analytical stuff that I had done with the programming and the databases and that kind of thing, that all meshed. And that was around, maybe 2000 when I decided to do that while I was still working. I was getting ready to take a job with the city. But while I was working at the city, that's when I decided, hey, I'm just going to do this thing full time.
Wow. Did you see AI, artificial intelligence, to be where it is today and doing what it is? I was at a conference with the folks in Los Angeles, OpenAI.
OpenAI, yeah.
And I was always that kid, like, people like, anybody have a question? And pew, hand up. And I said to him, I said, okay, with all of the AI right now, and this is something to think about. I said, are we at like the stars? Or he said, we don't know where we are. And these are the holders of it, of where it could go. Did you see it going or being what it is today? AI. Because you're talking about you've been on this 30 years.
So I got mixed feelings about this. The AI had always been programmatically ready for this leap. What changed the leap was compute power, right? Once they figured out that they could take the power, instead of having to use the CPU as the power base, and use the GPU, which is your graphic card, and your well, you see gamers, and they had these. You see all these things. Rendering on the screen at real time, and it's like real complex.
I'm right there with him.
Yeah. So when they figured that out, that's what made the jump. It wasn't the actual theory and the programming. That stuff was already there, right? They were already trying to do stuff like pattern recognition and recognizing words on a paper. OCR is one of the first things of pattern recognition for AI. Stuff like key fobs, Internet of Things, all of those things, they're not specifically AI inclusive, but the ideas spur from that. Like a lot of the stuff you see spawns from artificial intelligence, but the stuff you see now spawns from compute power. So now I can put in like you have a script that you go by when you're interviewing.
Right.
I could put your script in, and I could say, hey, I want to make 50 other scripts for all of these fictitious interviews, and it can spit it out in a minute and a half. That's the power of compute. That's not the power of the AI. The AI is already the actual technique, and the infrastructure is already.
There's still got to be some human brain power to know how to put this in.
And that's the part. That's the part too that scares me the most. Is who's responsible for the power that AI places in someone's hand, right? Mm-hmm. We got about 12 companies that's running all of the major LLMs,
right?
And then you only got about 4 or 5 chip companies. those people hold all the power. So that means that the AI will also be biased, which could be another conversation.
So students today, and I'm not just going to, I'm going to be very specific because we also talked about this at the conference. This is one of the more newer innovations that Black and brown students can get in that will not be a civil rights issue of education if we choose. I think there's some fear orchestrated and some self-built around AI. What does Cedric, who has been around AI now for 30 years, what do you say to those students? Because most of the time, technology is rooted in fear when people get away from it. Kids are more like, let's go. What do you say to students that are in this era of AI with the background knowledge you have of that? Because that wasn't on my script when you started talking about AI. It was like, wow.
I got you. So the change thing is an adult thing. Adults are the ones that's afraid of the change. But kids, if I had to tell kids one thing about this is it doesn't hurt you one way or the other to at least just learn the basics.
Okay.
This is going to be a part of life now because the genie is out of the bottle.
Yeah.
So you're going to get asked in job interviews how much chat experience, just simple chat experience do you have? Do you know these tools? Do you know these tools? Because some of the tools are actually being used in these companies. There's a lot of political stuff behind that too, where where these companies are saying that they're hiring all of these AI people and they're replacing jobs. That's not necessarily true, but that's some other stuff we can talk about in another conversation. But
we'll sit down.
Yeah, but kids at the very least, and their parents or whoever's caring for them should at the very least learn simple things about AI. I feel the same way about blockchains and crypto as well, because if Bitcoin may not be the currency of choice in the future, but something electronic will be the choice in the future, and they will be running it on technologies like blockchain.
Right.
And you need to know a little bit about how that works. You need to know about digital wallets. You need to know about all that stuff.
Segment of Leadership Matters.
You know what I mean?
So
you need to know a little bit about all of that stuff.
We'll talk about this. Again, sitting with author Cedric Jones, clothing designer.
You're going to walk out with that, huh?
Yeah, Cedric Jones. We'll have to.
Yeah, you good. We're good.
We're sitting, with him. One of the things when I find folks, first of all, you got to be smart enough to know that there's folks smarter than you are.
Absolutely.
And you can learn from, and this is one. And I use this for an example around, I keep building your resume. His graphics that he does is, I went to him, my first year, I was here 2019. My first graduating class was 2020.
Yeah, COVID.
And I wanted to honor our students based on, I'm around smart people. My wife was either reading, and she was like, they were doing yard signs, and she brought it to me. It's like, you should do this for graduates so that they could be seen as graduates. And I said, yeah. You gotta sometimes not let her know she's smarter than I was like, I'll think about it. And I was in my brain going, oh, that's something I'm gonna run with.
Yeah.
And you would have wanted to say, Coach, I want to do, I don't want to do yard signs. I want to do banners, big banners.
Big banners, yeah.
To recognize, at the time I was thinking this is going to be for the class of 2020, and I think this is part of my, I don't know if you say legacy or what, hopefully I hope that will continue for many classes. And I said, Coach, can you do it? And boy, have you done it.
Yeah.
You've done, I think,
6 years of it now. 7 years, yeah.
Yeah, 7 classes.
Yeah. 20, yeah. So that'd be
20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6,
Yeah.
seven classes, and
Time
this
really
has
passing.
my wife handed me the baton to go, and then this is the man that has done all 7 of my banners for me. So I always say, if you're gonna walk it, if you're gonna talk it, walk it, and he has been able to do that again. So super excited to be sitting down with Cedric Jones. I will not go through his resume again, but he's someone that I think we can all sit and learn a little bit more about. I want to talk a little bit more. So happy to hear about the whole AI, but then one thing I admire about entrepreneurs are the way they create opportunities instead of just waiting for them. Tell us about like your clothing brand, and the name.
Can I like you said how you just go and do stuff?
Yeah.
I do want to say that in my head I am a fan of rapid prototyping.
Okay.
So
Here we go.
Just to go to your
Buckle up.
the thing about the branding. I get an idea in my head. There's so many things that are available to us to get stuff done. I'll get the idea in my head and I'll work it from start to finish because I guess that's my OCD. But I get an idea and I say, okay, well, I want to put together a brand with some kind of labeling. I'm going to go from the start and then I'm going to have something at the end tangible to show it.
Okay.
A lot of that is because this is how I learn to handle clients that I get, all right? Because I have a lot of clients that have brands that they want to release or want to get out into the market, or they got services that they want to offer, all of these things. So if I get ideas, I say, okay, well, the best way to learn this is to rapid prototype it. So I'm gonna go from concept to finished product.
From A to all the way to Z.
So a lot of times people will see me wearing stuff or doing stuff, and they say, "Oh, that's yours." I'm like, "No, I'm just testing something." But this is actually something that was made.
Correct?
Yeah, true. This is something that was actually made to sell by me. And so True came out of a necessity personally to get away from, and that's why I like the idea that you're doing this show, to get away from all of the fake type of personality and get back to just being truly authentic.
Right.
It's bad that that's got to be an in vogue thing now because you hear a lot of people talking. You hear a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to live it, and I feel like I'm one of those people that whatever you get from me, that's me. It's never any kind of like shortcuts or appearances. And so that's where the True label came. Now it's supposed to end up being a full product line of actual clothes, not just me with hoodies and shirts and hats. But this is the fastest way you can get names out by wearing casual wear.
True Clothing. That's a proud sponsor of Leadership Matters.
Turning you into a monster already.
I got you. Y'all doing it. Y'all, I was hollering powder earlier. But no, that's actually that's dope, man.
Yeah.
And I have a saying about when I was a principal, and now in my 8th year as a superintendent here, is I've always said that I'll use principal. The principalship does not define me. I define my principalship.
It's true.
Because, you can read them. Principals should do this, this, and this. And I get it. I dig it. When I, taught school law, I would tell students that it's know the law, but know how the law works for you in your role.
It's true.
And so I think that's the essence of like True.
Yeah.
You're not letting your clothing designs, you're defining it.
Right.
You're defining it.
I set my own paradigms.
Right.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Okay. Proud sponsor. We're going to work on that. Let's shift a little bit. I know we got about 5 or 10 minutes left, but as I've said to your classmate Seeker, this won't be your last time sitting here because we could just sit up one day and say, let's go do a show.
Yeah.
Let's go do a segment.
I gotta start referring to Sika as my classmate. That's big sister.
Okay, well, big sister.
I gotta give respect where respect is due.
Sika is the real deal.
Yeah.
And I have respect for folks like yourself, and Sika comes from what people don't see. Because Sika is Sika that's real when you sitting with her.
All the time.
It's no faking the funk for her, and it's the same thing with you, and you give it the way it should be given. So I appreciate that. I do want to come back to true, because I think that's such a true. Where'd that come from? True.
Okay, so the idea came from some other lines that I was testing. I think you remember I used to wear the True Fam shirts.
Right.
That was something that I was testing for athletics at the school. This was before you got here, but when you got here, you saw I was wearing them.
Right.
That kind of fell by the wayside because it didn't. First of all, it took off, but we couldn't get enough of following behind it to make it the way I want it.
Right.
And if it doesn't pop, I'm not gonna try to force it to pop.
Sure.
A few years later, I'm in Starbucks. Surprise.
Yeah, we ran into each other several times.
Surprise! I was in Starbucks, and guy knew that I hadn't seen in a while. Was talking to me, and I kept saying true, and I kept saying it. And you know how you doodle while you're writing? I'm doodling that, and I'm doodling that kind of like in that cursive. And when I got home that day, I was like,
"So this is true is your."
I didn't know this is somebody's font type,
but it's
similar. It was the way I was doing
it,
and I went out and tried to find something that was similar.
And now is it a true period or is it
true period? Yeah,
true period.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
Right.
Period.
And so I was already I'm getting into my philosopher stage in my life. So I was already on this journey of this accountability and developing all these management leadership frameworks, and I'm already on that kick. So I was like, you know what, it'd be really cool if I just started wearing how I roll. Okay. And True, that's how True was born out of that. And I went through some iterations, like it was True in some other words, and then I let my daughters look at it, and they was like, "Nah, just leave it as True."
Yeah, because they're gonna keep it really real.
Yeah.
A daughter.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep it. Definitely. I always tell people some of the most entertaining time I've had as an educator is for several years was an 8th grade teacher, and I always say 8th grade black females would sometimes prepare me for so many things of life.
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson, did your wife see you go out of the house with that tie on? My wife was at work. We can tell. Really?
Well, shout outs to black females. Period.
Yeah. They keep it real.
That 92% is a real thing.
Yeah, they keep
that's a real thing. Yeah,
they keep it real. And if you I think about it like that. I've always had I might not be the smart, but I always had a great rapport with students.
Yeah,
and things like that you have to think about. For them to say that, I'm telling you the absolute truth, means that they see you in such a different light than, and it warrants respect,
and some trust.
Yeah. And so that's the part that I think a lot of times we put a lot of effort in the outcomes of testing, the outcomes.
Yeah.
But what effort are we putting in to helping these folks be great young people?
Yeah.
So no one taught me that better. Some of my best lessons as an educator came from, and I got to be specific, I'm sorry, black 8th grade young ladies. But you know what? The most entertaining.
That sounds like the grindhouse.
Oh yeah.
They're going to send you through the meat grinder for real.
I was like, man, this is hazing us. Y'all stop. But it was so much fun. And, I was so into it, my students knew my wife.
Okay.
They knew, because I poured so much into it. So when I tell people, I got receipts, man. I've done this, and it's been a blessing to do that. So speaking of young people, what advice would Sid give with all of these things from the author, the clothing line, the graphics, the AI, all of this, and I get up, walk out, and one of our DRS students walks in, sits here, and say, "Mr. Jones, Coach Jones said, true, period. What do I do? What's that one piece of advice that said?"
Can I do two?
You can.
Okay.
You can do two. You get
Okay.
two.
So the first thing I will tell a person is it's never as bad as it seems, and it's never as good as it seems.
Whoa.
Okay.
Never as good as it seems.
Right.
Okay.
So as far as high as you can get, you got to know that you can get the same amount of lowness in that same height. And in between all of that, you need to treat everything as a learning experience and be curious about it. Any kind of defeat you go through, that's information. That's not defeat. Any kind of success you get, that's information. That's not necessarily quote unquote success. Because you're supposed to be, and I get back to that book, that Finite and Infinite Games. Finite games are what they are. They have a dopamine hit, and now you're looking for your next hit. When can I win again?
What did he say about crack?
And then with infinite games, you're really trying to figure out how to stay in the game.
Yeah.
All right? Infinite game will carry you through life because there's some kind of purpose now. I want to stay in the game.
That's dope because, the most challenge that I had, and I don't name drop, but the hardest is when we became a recognized blue ribbon school at a middle school.
Okay.
And then I transitioned up to the high school and we became a blue ribbon. And one of the things I learned, I don't know, is a lot of times success is a challenge or high is a challenge, and not everyone is celebrating success.
No. I believe that you need to. I believe you do need to celebrate them as they come, but not to. Don't get so high that that's the only thing that's on your mind at that point. Yeah, you can't live in it.
And that's why it humbles. And I appreciate your recognition at the first round. The efforts that not I, but as a district, and even your contributions to DRS and Heather's and everyone else who wants to see DRS successful. I don't know, and maybe this is something I need to work through in my own, is I still set back and you wonder, like, okay, but where is it going to come from next?
Well, I mean, that is a place of, you're coming from a place of clarity now, right? A lot of the work that I do now is based in, I call it intent architecture. So I'm helping companies do their branding and marketing messages and applications or whatever it is they're doing. But I'm basically trying to get them to come from a place of clarity of why they're doing what they're doing, where they think they're headed, and then we got to measure all of the things that happen in between, because that ends up being what your real intent was. And if we measure your real intent and it wasn't what it was before, we need to go back and correct some things until we get a nice little feedback loop. So that is to me getting a feedback loop. You like, okay, where is it coming from next? If your desired outcome has been, I want to get to B, I want to get to A, I want to get to constant accreditation, and where there is there are no gaps in between, that's a pattern that you're building. If something starts to stumble, where it's going to come from next, or something comes in, you take that's information that goes back into the feedback loop, right? And you say, okay, how do we get to this point where that's coming in, or is this some kind of external factor that's going to always rear its ugly head and it's not affecting what our desired outcome is?
You know, how I measure it is, when I first came in, I had my first leadership meeting with principals and, you know, the team. You know what I told? I said, you know, because I learned, and I said, I know where DRS and, you know, the A and the B and, you know, I turned around schools and, you know, worked as an instructional superintendent in Denver. And I told them, I said, if we do right by students and we educate every student like he or she should, it's our ordained responsibility.
Right.
All of that other follow.
That's a clear intent, though.
Right. And so I have talked about it, and I was disappointed, especially last year, because, you know, we were actually a point to a little less than a point from a B grade. And I was a little disappointed, not because it was for me to grandstand in, because I don't even grandstand it. It was an affirmation to the work our teachers were doing,
right,
and what our students were doing. Again, here with author, do-it-all man, handyman.
That's gonna be funny.
Yeah, said Cedric Jones. I do want to talk and give you a shout out, first of all, for your newest project in Havana. Can you just tell us what inspired and what that project is, and where people could go see your amazing work that you put together?
Yeah, so I work with it. I work with. So it's my company along with my uncle.
Your uncle, right?
Right. It's called the Montague Collection, and it's named after the guy who actually did all the collecting. We didn't do all the collecting. We actually acquired the collection from him back in 2012, and it's the largest solely private-owned African American collection in the country.
Oh wow!
So when we got all of that stuff, we immediately thought, hey, what are we going to do with it? And we need to monetize it or whatever. So just for the viewers, just know that we've done multiple exhibits leading up to what I'm about to explain about Wait. So Wait is basically, the title of it is called Wait, chronicling...
Wait, W-E?
Yeah, like poundage. Wait.
Poundage, that's what W-E-I-G.
W-E-I, yeah. Okay. So, and it's chronicling the Unbroken. And it's basically a visual memory infrastructure type of exhibit. So when you go in, there aren't artifacts and art.
Okay.
It's more of an experience to kind of excite your senses about the memory of what we've gone through as a people in this country.
Okay.
And so you go from slavery through Jim Crow, through civil rights, red line, and all that stuff, all the way through to basically Obama's presidency.
Okay. Oh,
and we're not documenting the election or the presidency at all, but it's on a wall, and there's 7 key words, and where he resides is on the hope wall, and hope is the last word, because I still believe that there is some hope for us in this country as a people and as a culture, but the job is nowhere close to being finished.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this display is where specifically?
It's in Havana at the old Havana Northside High School site. We are hoping to open it this fall and have a bunch of tours because football season is coming up. There's going to be a lot of people in town. Mm-hmm. And we want people to see it, but the facility has hit a few snags and they haven't been able to open it. But we do have an alternative idea of actually running tours for special guests and we take them through the exhibit so they can at least see what's out there.
Well, I'm down.
And in the middle of it, there's a Carter G. Woodson. I'm thinking football.
Yeah, that's all right. That cornerback for the Raiders.
You know what I mean?
From Michigan.
So there's a Carter G. Woodson room inside. Right. It's a reading room. It's full of his journals and a lot of other books that that were donated to the collection. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, definitely want to get my family out to visit it, and then, like I said, would love to maybe go out and maybe do one of our podcasts from it.
I would love. We would love that. That would be powerful. I think that would be very powerful.
So we'll look for it, and it's every day. Can folks go there every day?
Once it opens, we're wanting it to be a Monday through Saturday. I don't know if they're gonna keep the facility open on a Sunday, but we're gonna try to figure out hours where it's Monday through Saturday.
What about schools? Could schools field trip?
We're already lining that up. So Gaston County. I'm just telling you.
DRS should be.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm telling you is Gaston County is already on the list because it's in Gaston County, but we are working with Leon County and the schools
and FAMU DRS.
Well, FAMU DRS
we're gonna be the first ones there. So.
That's
right.
Yeah.
We let haters hate. We going first.
I got you.
But that's I can't wait to actually.
Well, it's not hate. It's not hate. It's school. It's a school of choice.
That's right.
That's why I was put that last. Like, this is the school of choice.
The school of choice.
Yeah,
I love that.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so I've seen the video of it that you shared with me, and it's brilliant. It is brilliant. Now to the fun part of the show.
Put me on the spot.
The rapid fire, So let's get ready to rapid fire. The Renaissance curious Cedric Jones. One word that describes FAMU DRS FAMU High.
When I was there.
You can do when you was there. Now.
I'm still in my own utopia, so elite.
Elite? I love that.
Yeah.
If you think you're elite, you will act and be elite. That's great. One word describes FAMU.
Transformational.
Transformational.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. This may be hard. If I'll give you can give me one, but if there's one or two, I'm good with it. Okay. Favorite teacher.
Man, you can't do that.
Well, I know you said Seeger's mom was.
I'm not gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a favorite.
See, here comes the political.
The favorite set of teachers. They're all of them were women.
Really?
All of them. Wow. Now I had some male teachers, and I loved them to death. But all of my black women teachers and my one white teacher, woman, I loved all of them. They were I couldn't choose between them that way. I guess if you had to hold me in a corner and say you got to choose one, but like I said, regardless of what my experiences were and what I thought they were, the idea behind the teachers having a favorite, not favorite environment, it was a good environment for me.
I think about it, I'm trying to think,
I have a favorite, but I'm not finished.
I have favorite situations.
Yeah.
And one of them actually was the situation was you and I were at are we integrated or are we segregated and how it works. And what typically happened in that it was the dying breed for black teachers.
Yeah.
And actually more black teachers went into white schools. You very rarely had white teachers that came into the elementary schools that I attended, but we had one that did, Miss Greenlee, and you talk to a lot of black folks in my home of Fort Smith that went to Parker Elementary can note Miss Greenlee because she chose to be there and she loved where she was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I say respect for her, and was a damn good teacher.
Yeah.
But she chose because she could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, of course.
And so
that's how Miss Paramore was for us.
Yeah,
she
so
could have gone. She could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, I had so much respect for her, and you know, we would see her in the community.
Yeah.
You know, you'd see her at the grocery store.
Yeah. She was present.
And for a matter of fact, you know, we knew where she lived, and the highlight was to be riding on your bike right behind Harps, the hill, for my folks back home that watch this. And your biggest hope was that, you know, sometimes you see her out there doing flowers or just coming home.
So you can
she's
speak.
Probably, to speak. And she's probably going, oh, God. But so is Era. Okay, let's keep going.
All right.
Favorite place on campus?
Oh, it's got to be the set. You're talking about when I was going there, right? Oh, yeah, you got to go to the set. Well, so the set was laid out in quadrants.
Right.
Which is funny, that word, because the quad was a big spot to be. The set right in front of the old cafeteria was a place to be.
Okay.
And then the little piece that's going in between Jackson, Davis, and the dorms, that was also a popular place because that's where the girls' dorms were.
Yeah, of course, and that's where Cedric was.
Okay. Yeah, let's not broadcast that too loud. Let's keep that secret.
Favorite design software?
Well, I got to go with Photoshop because
Photoshop.
That's what I've used the longest.
Okay.
There's some out there that I still use though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go with Photoshop.
Yeah.
Morning or night?
Oh, I'm a night person. I'm not functional anymore.
What are you most creative?
I don't know if that's a day or a night. It'll come to me because I use a lot of things as stimulus. So I could be up and not functioning and doing stuff, but I can get an idea. Now I might not be doing anything, but yeah.
But you got it.
The creativity is always going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you know, sometimes for me it's like, where did that come from at night? And then I try to keep something to write with, but now getting old, I forget to put something to write with. And then I think about it, I was like, you know, what the hell was I thinking? I don't know.
Right.
But that's great. Morning or night, so you're creative. Okay, I think I know this one. By where, coffee or tea?
I do both. Now, I know some of our previous guests have a time of day when they do either one. I can do either one, either time of day, and it just depends on how I feel when I wake up. Because I love drinking chai.
Okay.
But I don't always drink chai. But if it's on my mind, I'm gonna get that before I get anything else.
Yeah.
But
chai
I'm usually
tea.
black coffee, like no sugar, no cream.
Okay. Cold or hot? Coffee or tea?
I probably would rather have it hot.
Okay.
I'll drink it cold though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I will say one because of flavoring, chai tea, ice, to me is better than.
You like yours ice?
Yeah, the chai.
Okay.
Favorite clothing design brand besides your own?
Besides my own? Okay. Man. When I could fit.
When you could fit.
In this stuff. Because they don't make stuff for big boys.
Yeah.
I was when I was working corporate, I was an Armani suit person. I blew a lot of money on Armani suits.
Yeah, is that European cut?
I mean, you know, it's back in the day when you just small and slim, you can get in it, and it's because, you know, we had this discussion off camera is because of the mobility thing that we were talking about. You know, you felt you had to have that stuff on. That's how you move.
You know, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I remember in college, you know, remember when Jabot jeans was the thing?
Yeah.
And I remember I put on, I was like, these things hurt. And they just didn't fit me right, you know, and I don't know who they did that I was at UAPB. You know, everybody faked the funk with them. But, really did they. One entrepreneur you admire. In cross colors. I actually like cross colors.
Oh, cross colors, yeah. That was big. That was big.
Cross colors was big. You know, Living Color, that was the big time.
Entrepreneur that I admire.
that you admire?
Man, I have so many adversarial thoughts about entrepreneurs. You know what? I will say this though. I have two friends that started a company 15, maybe 20 years ago in Fort Lauderdale. They've now branched out all over Florida. It's Medium 4.
Okay.
That's Dante Filia and Michael Hall. They're like little brothers to me. Okay. But I watched them take something that was very small and now grown it to something very large. And a lot of people don't know a lot of the things that you see and hear in the state of Florida and Georgia and a few other states directly are campaigns that they actually manage. They're a branding and marketing company, kind of similar to mine.
Okay.
So I would say that, yeah, I give shout outs to my boys. There's no need to give shout outs to nobody.
Why not?
Right.
Favorite quote?
Probably Malcolm X when he said he'll take the, I'm gonna butcher the quote, but he said he'll take the truth any kind of way you can get it and how it can be disseminated. It'd probably be Malcolm X.
Yeah, my one of mine is Malcolm, and it's
I can't remember the quote though.
you know, we may have to hit it, but it was so true.
Yeah.
And truth is true.
Yeah.
Period. Is what
Right.
sets you free. But Malcolm said, anytime you find a black man, and I'm gonna butcher a little bit, doing something productive, they find another black person. He may say black man. He said black person.
Yeah.
They go find a counter to whatever he said.
Yeah. I remember that. I do remember that.
I hold that a
Yeah.
lot of times because it's just real.
Yeah.
And that's what Malcolm was. He was just so real. Okay, so we got your favorite quote. What's one thing, and we did 11 with you because we couldn't cut you short. What's one thing people would be surprised to learn about Cedric Jones?
Because I just had this conversation with somebody else the other day that I was in the junior national soccer program for the U.S. team.
Really?
Yeah, in high school. I played soccer all the way through 16 years old, and my head football coach did not like that.
Right.
And told my mom, he can't be playing soccer anymore. And that was the end of the junior national. But I met a lot of people. I actually ended up playing on FAMU's team with one of the top goalies in the country.
Wow.
And he was our free safety.
Wow.
Sean Williams.
Yeah, a lot of people,
Yeah.
I'm sure they know. I mean, Akeem Olajuwon credit his great footwork that he had.
He was a big-time soccer player,
Yeah,
though.
I mean.
He gave up a lot for basketball.
Yeah. And, you know, I will say I never thought I'd say I've enjoyed the World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just, I've just enjoyed learning, and it's been a time that I get with my son. He's into it.
Yeah.
Only thing he's saying is every time he wants a team to win, that team has lost. I say, well, let's just hope Argentina wins.
Right.
Because I don't want them to win. But soccer player, well,
Yeah.
let me tell you guys, if you haven't, you know, I have a catch that I always say is I'm not trying to do anything in these podcasts other than learn a little bit more about the individuals we sit down with, learn a little bit more about what makes them tick. Cedric, thanks for gifting me some of your time, because you are forever doing something, and to be able to get you, first of all, to help launch this podcast and making sure that we you and Heather making sure that we put out a quality product.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for both of you guys because of your experience, because you guys could be doing this with anyone. And so thank you for gifting me some time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And this won't be our last time. I definitely want to get you in on a regular rotation just to talk about something I think that we don't want to marginalize us as technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm like a dog chasing a car with technology. I love it, and but when I get it now, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
But I love technology, and I think that's something I would love for us to continue to talk about. And then I definitely would love to have a one-on-one about
straitjacking.
About straitjacking.
Yeah.
So thank you again. Again, I'm Superintendent Micheal Johnson. So proud to serve this community, but more than anything, to serve the students and teachers and administrators here at FAMU DRS. Please like, subscribe, share, talk about Leadership Matters, because it does matter.